Segment 3, Gold and Black Live, and this is a privilege. I mean, this is one thing I need about this job is I get a chance to talk to people that are making a difference, and Larry Clisby is one of those. 2 Fridays in a row, Larry, we've spent some time together, which is a treat for me. But welcome to Gold and Black Live, and I guess the great question is, how are you getting along, my friend?
I'm doing well. I mean, it's once you're put in this situation, you have to go through a process, and we've gone through a rigorous and a hard process, but everything has been good so far, and all the scans have come back with positive results. So I'll have another one. I had one taken last Friday, a week ago, and we'll get the results of that in my next chemo treatment, which will be Tuesday. So we'll find out how much the chemotherapy has done. We've already found what the radiation did, which did a pretty good job on the metastasized brain tumors. So we'll see. It's a day-to-day thing. And, I got a great caregiver and my fiance, Michelle Mason, and I've got a lot of people who have supported me and prayed for me and all kinds of things. And so things are going good, and my goal is still the same, is to be back November 1st and call that first exhibition game. I question in my mind whether I can from time to time, but anytime I question it, I have enough people telling me, no, you can do it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have such a, I think it's been, no one's minimizing your difficulty and the challenges that you on a personal level, we can't walk in your shoes. However, it has been so wonderful that the support you've received, the folks that have come to your support, and the love and all, everything that's come on. But it starts, to me, I had not met Michelle until the basketball reunion, and now I see where a lot of that energy, you need that on the level of being today. You need that to help you get through this, and she has been phenomenal from all accounts.
Well, that's true, and it's anybody who's been through this, and many of the listeners and viewers right now have been touched by cancer one way or another, some more seriously than others. And but we all know that you got to have the right people taking care of you, and she has been incredible. And there's going to be times, when you're in love with someone, there's going to be times when you don't always agree. And you know me well enough, Alan, that I don't always agree with everything.
No, you don't.
And so she has to fight through that occasionally. But she's been such a blessing. But I've had so many other family members be the same. I've had so many friends like yourself, and people like that have been really fantastic. I just had an example this week. I've been a longtime friend of Tom Hamilton, Cleveland Indians announcer. I got together over in St. Pete. I went to a game Tuesday night that he provided the tickets for, and just had a great time with the Indians and Tampa Bay Rays game, and the Indians won it 2-0, which pleased me to death. For those people who don't know, most do, that have been around me know that I'm a Cleveland, Ohio native, or in that area, Warren, Ohio, actually. I don't want to fault my hometown, but it was great seeing Tom. He was fantastic, and he's just the type of people that I've met in this business in my lifetime that I'm still close with and have a chance to visit with. And boy, when you sit down with those kind of people and you have a chance to talk about the old days and the new days, what days we got left, it's really great.
Yeah, I think it's a tribute to you, though, Larry. I think and that's been the heartwarming thing for me, is the outpouring of the fan base is just this is important to them, and your health is important to them, and your voice is important to me. And one thing I've been impressed in our couple phone conversations, and last week the basketball podcast with Elliot Bloom, which I enjoyed doing very much with you. That voice sounds good and strong, and yet no one knows. The rest of us don't know the day to day and don't know the difficult times, and we understand that those things that's part of dealing with this. But I think you also just your inner group of broadcast friends. I'm talking about it with the Purdue group, the Wes Scotts of the world, who's has been through some challenges in his life, but has been there for you, and Rob Blackman, guys like that have really, and the whole Purdue family. When you have a friend like Matt Painter too, I know he's a basketball coach. I know you've known him, but it's the friend thing that comes first in a time like this.
Sure does, and I don't want to not mention Ralph Taylor.
No,
a good old friend Ralph Taylor calls me every week.
Yeah.
Every week wants to know how I'm doing and wants an update, and I provide it for him. And he's been there. He was yesterday. I told him I was a little bit tired. He said, "You got to drink some Gatorade." So I mean, it's just great, to have these kind of friends and associates, and you got to have medical people too, and I have those, and so it's not easy, but it's a heck of a lot easier when you have the support that I have. I try. There's a lot of people who don't get the support I get, believe me.
Well, the GoFundMe account and everything has been just a great thing to watch. Absolutely explode, and that's again a tribute to you and all the people around you. All right, let's talk about what you and I always talk about the fact when we get together we don't talk sports, but we're going to talk sports for a couple of minutes. You've seen the Boilermakers in football, and we've been running a picture of you with Fred Akers from an old Golden Black in our issue year number 2, so it'd have been 26 years ago or 27 years ago with Fred Akers as a promo for the Fred Akers Show. But you've been around Purdue football and obviously have watched it. Disappointing to see the first 2 losses, but what do you see going ahead, and yet a big challenge tomorrow night against Missouri?
Well, I don't. First off, I'm not throwing in the towel. I just find it amazing that you lose one game by 4 points, another game by 1, and the second one being the Eastern Michigan, and all of a sudden, so many people say, "Well, this will kill recruiting. This will do this.
Yeah.
This will do that." No, it won't. It won't at all. This guy knows what he's doing. We have a tremendous staff in hand. It's unfortunate you lose a couple of ball games, but these are ball games.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'm in a position now that sometimes I can say it's a ball game.
Yeah.
It's not life.
Yeah.
So it is to these guys. Now,
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I've been a sports announcer for a long time, and I've been close to a lot of coaches, and I realize it's a profession, and I get it. And I also get the idea that you should never lose to a Mid-American Conference team. If that was the case, they would never win a game.
Yeah.
And I've just noticed that over the 41 years I've been here, we've lost more than one to a Mid-American Conference team, and they'll continue to upset people as we go along. They won the game by a point, and remember too the weather factor. No one ever talks about the weather, and then they say, "Well, that shouldn't count." That doesn't count.
Well, it's an
They're
equalizer.
too good to do that. So I just think that step back from the ledge. Regardless of what happens this year, they're laying the foundation. That's what they're going to do, and this team will be very, very good in the future. How soon? Who knows?
Yeah.
And if we got to put a timetable on it, I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Mike Babinski or Jeff Brom or anybody's going to put a time on it. Jeff wants to win. His staff wants to win. His players want to win. Our fan base wants to win. Everybody wants to win, but you just got to take it step by step. So that's the way I've taken it, to be honest with you.
We got just a couple minutes left. I wanted you, obviously, men's basketball. It's going to be an interesting season. There are some parallels to past seasons that we could delve into deeper at some other point. But Matt Painter's team will have. It's a good place to start when you have one of the best guards, if not the best guard in the country, in Carson Edwards. But a interesting blend of guys. And as you've had time to think about this upcoming season, what strikes you the most about this team?
Well, I just think it's a chemistry issue. I mean, they normally, these teams normally blend together by chemistry, by how they play with each other and how well they do it. And this team has some experience. Doesn't have the experience that last year's team has, but, sometimes that helps you. Sometimes it doesn't help you. And certainly there are times when you think, gosh, why does that happen, man? Those guys have been around here for 4 years. So you really never know, but I think it's just a matter of chemistry. I think we have some excellent players. We have a lot of talk about guys who haven't played, and Radanovic and Wheeler. People love to wonder what they're going to do. Well, we don't know what they're going to do. That's why they're going to play.
Yeah.
That's why they sat out last year. So we'll wait and see how they develop, and we have a blend of, I think, a tremendously talented base. So we'll see what happens, but I think we'll have a very good year. I don't think it's smart to say, well, okay, you're going to win 25 games, you're going back to the Sweet 16, you're going to be third in the league.
Yeah.
You just wait and see.
Yeah.
Because we've already found out in football, sometimes things don't turn out exactly the way we want them to turn out. But I like the character of the kids we have. I think Carson's a terrific player. I just think that his All-American status has been escalated, just continues to escalate.
Yeah.
He hasn't been playing, has he?
No, I know. His numbers haven't changed, but he's becoming a bigger phenom by the day, isn't he?
Yeah, it just seems like, and he's a special player, no question about it. But I don't know if he's LeBron James yet, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
We'll see how he mixes in. We'll see how his teammates from last year mix in with him and understand how he can be a leader. We'll see. But I got a lot of faith in those guys. Of course, I do in our staff. So we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We'll have a good team, I think.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping I can be there November 1st. Is what I'm hoping.
That is what I'm saying. It's going to be an interesting the non-conference. You got some challenging games. Hopefully Charleston will still be there after this horrible storm. I think it will be. But and then of course Purdue goes to Texas and has Notre Dame, I believe, on the schedule. Really good early non-conference schedule for Matt Painter's squad. All right, Larry. We are grateful for your time. We will probably do this again before. I know we'll do this again, but probably in season. But we all are saying continue to be on the mend the best that you can, and we look forward to seeing you up here sooner than later, and we'll all be excited on that first exhibition game when you're calling November the 1st, and I'm drawing a complete blank of who they're playing, but it's the Boilermakers will be having their first exhibition game.
I think it's Marion.
That's right, Marion College out of Indianapolis. So.
Marion, Indiana, yeah.
All right, I know you'll be in front of the television tomorrow night with Purdue and Missouri, and we'll send blessings down to Michelle as well as she helps you battle this, and we know that you're battling, and that's an inspiration to all of us. So, Larry, thanks again so much for your time.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'm making her a heck of a Purdue fan. First, and she's a Notre Dame grad.
Yeah.
So she's doing some rooting for the Boilers, and hasn't shown. I mean, heck, I took her to the Indians game the other night, and I thought she's a lifelong Indians fan the way she acted. So she's a good one to be with when it comes to the sports. But anyway, thank you, Al, and my wishes to all the people out there, and let's get behind this football team. Let's don't give up on them after 2 weeks. Let's go. Let's get a couple of victories here. Maybe a big upset coming up tomorrow night, okay?
All right, sounds good, Larry. Thanks again so much. All right, we want to thank our good friends at WLFI, old Larry's old stomping grounds here. He's a legend in this station and where I sit, literally. I want to thank Triple X and our sponsors, Triple X, on the hill but on the level, of Purdue tradition since 1929. John Basham and the good folks at Basham Reynolds. been really good to us at Golden Black Live over the years. Hilton Garden Inn, when tomorrow's a big day. State HDI tonight. State Farm agent Trent Johnson. And you know what? All four of these folks are fans of Larry Clisby too, and obviously Purdue sports, and that's part of the fun of being able to do this. All right, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Leroy Keys will be our guest, and probably have another guest as well. Leroy will be talking about the 50th anniversary of his senior season, 1968, and Purdue football as well. We'll look forward to that next week. I want to thank Gordon and the whole gang at WLFI for all that they do for us. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Golden Black Live.